Right.
Hey, welcome aboard. It's time for another podcast of the Captain's Quarters. We welcome you all back. For all of you that are here watching us, we've had a few changes, but for now, how about a quick cheer and a toast to each and every one of you? Huzzah for joining us this evening. Good to see you, Mr. Longwood. Hellfire.
Good to see you, Captain.
Good to
Good to
see
see
you
you,
here
Captain.
also. Now, most of you probably have seen or been aware of our 4-week hiatus. And we're glad that you're back if you are. And we hope to continue to rebuild as we move through the rest of this year. We have 4 episodes planned for you in this month, all on the Mondays, and then we're kicking it into high gear for 2022. But let's talk about the obvious. We're missing one of our crew. Navigator Morin has so many things going on in his life. So let me give you a little brief history. When all of this COVID hit, Mr. Longwood and I were constantly sitting down and poring over ideas and trying to figure out how do we take our pirate work, our love of history, and our love of being with people, and how do we put it on the internet? And there's just so much out there. It's overwhelming. And I am not by any means tech savvy. I am too old to be tech savvy. I like the old way. But we must move into the new age. And then in the summer of 2021, Mr. Morin came to me with an idea and the confidence and the knowledge to propel us into the new age, the age of the internet, the age of podcasting. And I was extremely excited about it, as was Mr. Longwood. And we sat and we talked all through the summertime. And then, hence, our first episode was on International Talk Like a Pirate Day. And we kicked it for 8 weeks. But Mr. Morin has so many things going on in his real life. He has a very, very important job in his real life. And he has his other podcast that he does, FabWorks. And we're very proud of being friends with him for that. And he just had to step away. So he left us with this idea that I've given you the tools. Here it is. Go out and enjoy it. So that's what we're doing. We're taking it forward. We're moving ahead. We're forging a new journey, a new challenge, a new adventure. And we wish him well, Navigator Morin, him and his family, and we hope that his choices work out well for him. We will continue on, and who knows what brings the future to us. So here we are in the 10th episode of the Captain's Quarters. That's pretty good, 10 episodes. So this episode tonight is just going to be about us talking to our followers, our listeners, and hoping that we get some really good ideas from you. We have ideas of what we want to do, but we want this to be something that the crew, that's what we call all our followers and listeners, we want it to be something that you're a part of also. Isn't that right, Mr. Longwood?
Aye.
Yeah, very good. Don't speak much, but he does say a few. And Hellfire, he just kind of sits there and waits to explode something. So,
Aye, Captain.
so let's talk about some of the other things that we will be doing. Now, I've got me a list of things that I wanted to talk about here. And of course, I need to put my specs in so I can keep track of it. I neglected to put my agenda on the pages here on the screen so I can see what's actually going on. So we'll do it this way for tonight. One of the things I would like to thank everybody about is that you're still following us. Tonight's episode, tonight's info and discussion, because we want our listeners and followers to be a part of it. It is what we want to do with you, for you, and have you tell us what you would like to see. We came up with the idea of part of the podcast, part of the crew, always, all the time. Well, like a real pirate ship, in the golden age of piracy, the captain was just the leader, but he required the decision-making process and the approval of the crew on everything. So we want you to give us your thoughts and your ideas. And at this time, I also want to make a big thank you. The 1st of December, a magazine went out. It's called Loving Our Town, St. Augustine. Now, they've done 3 issues now. I have the first 2 right here. They started back in the summer. They put another issue out around October. And they just put the December issue out on 1 December. Yes, I'm flattered to have been the cover of their 3rd edition. There's an article about my life in piracy as an entertainer. And a 3rd article on the pirate history of St. Augustine is also in there. They flatter me with a great picture. But what is really flattering is from 1 December till today, which is 6 December, in 6 days, I've gotten over 3,000 shares, posts, comments, and that's not including likes. I'm talking about shares, reposts, comments, over 3,000. I am just flattered that so many people have seen and approved of this issue, which means that we're going to be bringing Loving Our Town, St. Augustine, the people that own it, we're going to be bringing them on as our special guest sometime in January as one of our special editions. And that'll be one of the things we talk about. Who do we bring on as guest? What do we do? So it's up to you. If there's anybody out there, say hello. Do we have anybody saying hello, Mr. Hellfire?
Hi, Captain. We have a few people.
Very good. A few is better than none at all. It's always nice. There's Christy Thomas. We appreciate you watching. And I'm sure Adam is also there too. Infamous. Thank you. Thank you, Donna Bogus. So let's talk about the new direction of what we want to do. Because we had to make a few changes, we still want to do some of the things we did in the first 9 episodes. Like question of the week. We want to do a question of the week at the beginning of the show, and then somewhere in the show, we'll look at all the comments that go with the question, and we'll see what we have. So here's the question of this week. What is your best memory of Christmas? Because almost every episode we do from here until Christmas is we're going to talk about Christmas. You can see that the captain's quarters has been decorated. I have a couple of my favorite nutcrackers that have been handed over to me as gifts. They're pirate nutcrackers. Very cool, I think. And we're just going to be in the festive of all occasions here. So what is your best memory of Christmas? Pop those in there, and we'll talk about those in a few minutes. We're also going to dedicate a huge portion of this show to the St. Augustine Swashbucklers and crew. Since I'm the captain of that crew, and Mr. Longwood and Mr. Hellfire are also part of that crew, we are going to use this as an extra tool for the Swashbucklers to pull in more support for all the things that they do. We've even come up with an idea that we're going to do an entire episode of Who's Who in the Crew and somehow bring as many of them as possible into the studio here and have a night of Who's the Crew. So you get a chance to see every one of all the crew that are here. There are 42 members of the St. Augustine Swashbucklers right now. So it'll be a nice evening, and we do plan on doing that before the end of the year. We also want to make sure that everybody knows the charity work that this crew does and that we do. We do a lot of work for Inc., investing in kids, and they are a fine organization. We've been doing work with them for several years, and we'll continue to do our work with them. We also do work with St. Augustine Youth Services. Look at that. Good job, Mr. Longwood. Good job. So we do work with both those two organizations, and we have some plans in the future to do more. St. Augustine Youth gets the benefit of our toy drive every year. We fill up a bunch of stockings with fun and cheer and candy and whatever else we can fit, and we take them to St. Augustine Youth. Now, before COVID, we used to do a Christmas Eve party with them, but COVID has stopped us from doing that the last 2 years, and it's still in doubt if we're going to do it this year. As it stands right now, it probably won't happen, but we will be delivering their stockings Christmas Eve afternoon. Also, we have some other supporters that are helping us with this. We'll be telling you more about them in the next episode. One of them is a bake shop here in town that wants to make a cupcake for every one of the boys. And the United Way has already promised to give us some other things that we can put in those stockings. So the United Way will be a big supporter of what we do. Those are our two major charities, and we will be working with others. Down the road, we have a rum festival planned. We have Old City Pirate Festival planned. Old City Pirate Festival benefits Inc. The rum festival will benefit St. Augustine Youth Services. So those are two events on the horizon. You'll learn more as we move towards that horizon. Right now, currently, we have the Christmas Village going up here in the backyard of Captain Mayhem. And there are the dates, the 14th, the 16th, and the 21st. I'm sorry, the 14th, the 16th, and the 23rd, because the 21st had to be canceled for other reasons that Santa could not be here. But the 14th, the 16th, and the 23rd, from 6:30 at night till 8:30, the lights will be on. The yard is open to the public. We'd ask everyone to come on over, take pictures, meet Santa, say hello to Mrs. Claus, and make a donation. Pet food for any of the shelters here in town that we donate to. Human food to any of the food banks that we help, or families that we know that might be in need. We give them something. Toys if you want to help our toy drive. And if you don't want to do either of the three, cash is always nice. We put that cash in our charity drive, and it goes towards whatever we do. You can well imagine when we're putting stockings together for 30 to 40 boys at St. Augustine Youth, it does take a little bit of treasure to make those stockings work.
Now, Captain, I just happen to have a little short video of the making of the village, if you want me to.
Very good, Mr. Longwood. Very good. That's the first I was seeing of that, and I'm very impressed. Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to brag about that yard. That big giant Christmas tree you saw is red, white, and blue lights. Yes, we pirates are patriotic, and there are 1,200 lights in that tree. The tunnel, the light tunnel that you must enter to come into the yard, is over 3,000 lights. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be over 10,000 lights strong, probably closer to 12,000 lights in my backyard. Florida Power and Light likes me, but I get over on them. Almost everything's those new LED lights. And with the help of one of our crew, Mr. Tinker himself, we have almost everything on one of those modern things that you call a generator. So ladies and gentlemen, come on out on the 14th, the 16th, or the 23rd and enjoy our Christmas lights. Say hello to Santa. Come and support the crew. We'd be very honored to have each and every one of you come out and see us. And we will be posting on Facebook everywhere all about it. That was a very good video there, Mr. Longwood. I think you did well. What do you think, Mr. Hellfire?
I think that was a great video.
I think it worked out well. I do notice that you didn't show any crew working. You got away from that. Always making the captain work, I'll tell you. So the crew just participated in the city's Christmas parade. It happened this past Saturday, and it's the first time, I believe, in 2 years that the city was allowed to have their Christmas parade. And boy, was the streets crowded with people. People just want to get out. This 2 years worth of being locked up or cut down or pushed back, people are over it. And the crowds in the city streets watching the parade prove just that. I'm not telling you any political stance on whether you're for it or against it or the way things are going. I am telling you this, though. It's time for us to be out there hugging our brothers and sisters, taking care of our families, and enjoying life the way it's supposed to be. Did you happen to get a good slideshow of the parade?
Yes, I did. I got a slideshow of all the prep stuff we had to do.
All right, very good. Well, again, another good job, Mr. Longwood. Very good.
I got to
Very
change
good.
this music.
Yeah, that's all right. I like that music. It was peppy and it wakes me up. So that was a good one. You did a wonderful job. Hellfire, you were out there for the parade, right?
I was just hiding in the shadows in those pictures.
Yes, and this was your first parade with the crew, wasn't it?
Aye, Captain.
Did you have a good time? Did you enjoy it?
I had an absolute blast. I thought it was amazing seeing all the joyful crowds around us.
And we gave away a lot of candy, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I, as the captain, could not be there. I was there for a few minutes in the morning to help stand there and watch the crew do what they need to do. But I had other obligations for the day, and I had to vanish. So I unfortunately could not join my crew to be there, but I'm very proud of them. They did a great job, and there's been some great comments all over that thing called the Book of Faces. I had a wonderful time in the parade, Donna's saying. The smiling faces really moved me. It felt such happiness. I felt such happiness and love. Cheers to that, Donna. You're absolutely right. This is a good start to getting into 2022. It's time to put smiles on those faces again, which means that we'll be talking about Old City Pirate Festival in next week's episode. But tonight, we want to cover a couple more things. Some of the other things we'd like to do with this podcast. We would like to open this up and share our time with other crews throughout Florida or beyond. If there are other crews that have events or causes or purposes that they would like to talk to us about or share with us, we would like to talk with them. We would like to put them on our show. We would even like to have them be a guest in the captain's quarters right here on studio. We'd love that. And in fact, we are considering highlighting one crew every month. if we have crews that step up and say they would like to be a part of that. So any crews that might be listening, or anybody that knows of a crew, have them send us a message. We do have an email, and they can send us a message there, or they can message on our YouTube channel when they watch this video. But we would like to be a part. There it is, Captain's Quarters Podcast at gmail.com. We would like to have them, any crews that would like, send us a message and ask us what you would like or what we can do for you and what kind of a parlay we can make to come to an accord on whatever we can do to spread your word as well as ours. So don't let that just sit to the side. Crews that work together usually are stronger. We'll also do special guests. As I said, crews, captains of crews. We'd love to have them be special guests. And there'll always be rum for those special guests. So that's a possibility. We already had quite a few special guests in our first 9 episodes. Let's see. We had Gina Marie, our favorite of all dancers and sirens with Blue Lotus World Dance Company. That was a very good episode. We had Miss Jan Rapp from A Ghostly Encounter. That was episode 6, just before Halloween. And boy, did she give us some good information on ghosts in St. Augustine. Do you have any others there, Mr. Longwood?
I just had time to grab up a couple.
All right. Well, we did have The River Pirate. That was a wonderful episode, all about rum. And we did get some fans from the Florida Rum Society. And if any of you are watching, cheers to you. We'll be doing more episodes on rum for sure. That we already know. We have great support still with the Sketchy Guy out of Nevada. He is the one that's done our great cartoons. And we have plans on maybe having him be a guest. He'll have to do it all the way from Nevada. But we hope to have him be a guest and talk about his cartoon work, because we'd like to promote everything he does. His artwork is fantastic. So, special guest. But crew, you listeners and subscribers, tell us who you want to talk to, who you want to talk about, who you want to talk with. We would like to have you be a part of our show with your decisions. And we'll still talk about history, because we did find out in the 9 episodes that we had, the episodes that talked about history in one way, shape, or form, not just pirate history, but any kind of history that we added to it, it made us educational, and everybody wants to enjoy history. So we will be adding history still to our episodes. But tell me what you want. Give us some suggestions. We could have done last week all about Blackbeard, because Blackbeard's execution style death happened just 2 weeks ago. Well, 300 years ago, but 2 weeks ago, as it were. But you may want to know about some other part of history. We will definitely talk about St. Augustine history, and I have some ideas of guests from St. Augustine's Historical Society that I'd like to have come on and talk to you about the fort. The fact that Florida was the 14th and the 15th British colonies in the late 1700s. Those are 2 things right there. And Chad Light was very informative. He absolutely was. And I enjoy having conversations with Chad. So what do you think, Hellfire? Anything in mind you like about history you'd like to have be a part of the show?
I definitely, one thing before we went on our adventures was the history of superstitions on the ocean.
Oh, yes. That's on the list. Superstitions of the Navy and the pirates, the nautical people. That would be a very good one. That would be enjoyable, I'm sure. We had author Matt Frick with his book on Captain Thomas II. And I personally have friends, 3 or 4 others, that write books on pirate history and or pirate novels. So maybe we can get them in. I would even like to get my friend Carl Fismer. I'd love to get him in here. He's been a diver of treasure for, I want to say hundreds of years, but he'd probably slap me and say only it's been a few, but it's been a long time for him, and he is well worth the stories. So we can bring him in too. And Spanish Main Treasures down on US 1. We'd like to bring them in and have him talk a bit with us about some of the things he knows and does. So the world is our oyster. We pick the pearls, we make the episodes, but we will only be able to do it with your help, the crew. So one last thing about history, though. Tomorrow marks a very important day, the 80th anniversary of a day that will live in infamy, and that would be Pearl Harbor. Ladies and gentlemen, it was 80 years ago that Pearl Harbor was attacked. The United States of America attacked by an outside force, and it was the spike in the coffin, so to speak, that brought the United States into the Second World War, the war of all wars. So Pearl Harbor Day is tomorrow. We salute all of those. There are not many World War II vets left in the world, and in fact, just over this past weekend, one has been lost, and that would be Bob Dole, congressman, senator, politician, World War II veteran. We salute Bob Dole. I was lucky enough to get to shake his hand and meet him and have a brief few minutes of chat with him while I was in my military days stationed in Washington, D.C. back in the 80s. And a great man he was, and a great loss to our country. One more hero from the Second World War gone. One more salute. Salute. That brings me to the last subject, and that is that we might need some sponsors. We'd like to have some sponsors, and we have some great ideas on how to benefit sponsors for just a small amount of capital. Because you know I'm a pirate. I can't do it all for free, but I would like to have people join us. And we have some great ideas. We can run a ticker tape all the way across the bottom of this screen for the entire duration of every episode. We use it right now to give you the ideas of our email or our contact information. But we'd like to use that ticker tape also to start listing out the companies or the businesses or the people that support us as sponsors. At the end of the show, we'll make sure we have a banner that shows all the people that are supporting us and being a part of what we do. And what we'd like to do is shoot for 10 sponsors by the first week of January. 10. And if we get 10 sponsors, we're going to sweeten the pot. And every month, starting in February, we will take one of those sponsors and invite them to be guests on the show. And they get to spend the show with us, telling us everything about their business and their work and being a part of our crew. So we're shooting for 10 sponsors. If you are interested or know anybody that might be interested, let us know. We would love to have that. And I'll be working on the paperwork for all of that over the next couple of days, if I have time. Donna Bogus, her daddy was a Marine in World War II. Very good. Well, salute to him. And in fact, crew, raise your glass, because we should salute all veterans through all the years, for it's with their work that we all get to enjoy our safety, our security, and our freedom. Cheers to all vets. Thank you all for your service. Aye.
Aye. Cheers, mates.
And that leads me to the very end of talking about our new direction. I hope that the listeners are in on it. I hope that they want to join us, and I hope that they want to have a good time with us, be a part of what we're going to do. We have 3 Mondays this month, and then we have 52 in 2022. And we'd love to have each and every one of you be a part of it in some way, shape, or form. So I timed it just right. Davey, Hellfire, I told you we'd take that first part and make it 30 minutes long. And guess what? We just made it 30 minutes long right there. How about that? Do I know how to talk or what? So, what kind of questions do we have? My thought is, anybody give us a good memory? A good Christmas memory? I will tell you mine. One of my best Christmas memories. Family Christmas parties with family long past. Yes, I would agree with that, Adam. Here's the sad part. Family traditions seem to die out when the mother, the matriarch of the family, passes on. And some of my best memories of Christmas are with my mom. And I have all of them with my mom, but I have two other memories, although one of them may have been dashed. I have a Christmas ornament that we carry around. I've carried around with me since the second grade. One that I made in the second grade. All it is a red ornament with silver glitter glued to it with my name back then, Billy. And I've carried it around. Well, right now, we're not sure what box it's in. Otherwise, I'd be showing it to you. But here's the part that my mom plays in this. I joined the military in 1977 and was directly sent overseas in September of 1977 to Japan. When I first arrived in Japan, I was told it would be a 2-year stint, but several weeks after, it had been cut down to a 12-month stint. But then I started to enjoy Japan so much that I stayed for 37 months. I loved Japan. But my first Christmas away from home in 1977, I got a care package from home. In that care package was a tin can. In that tin can, it was a tin coffee can with a Christmas scene on it. In that coffee can was my second grade ornament wrapped in newspaper. And my mom had written on the plastic top. I still have the can in the top, but we're not sure where the ornament went. But that just shows how my mom really thought so much of me to send that to me. And I was 19 years old, and it was the best Christmas present I could have ever have gotten. Hoping into our family car driving around town looking at Christmas lights. We all do this today with my kids. Oh, that was hopping, wasn't it? You lost a P there, Christy. Hopping into the car. Christmas lights. That's one of the reasons why we do the Christmas lights here in the Mayhem backyard. Because I love Christmas lights. I love to be able to do something that the family can come and look at the lights and see. It doesn't have to be all electronics. It doesn't have to be all tech savvy. It's just lights and mom holding little boy's hand or dad holding little daughter's hand and walking through and ooh and ah at the lights. That's why we try to do so much. And it makes me feel good to see all these families come in. Last year, we had quite a few families. This year, we're already getting messages for families to come to our Christmas village. Again, those dates are the 14th, the 16th, and the 23rd. Christmas cookie decorating with my sister, now with the niece and nephew. Now that's a good one too. Will, anything that you do at Christmas time with your family should always be great memories. And that's a good one. Decorating cookies. So I'll ask Will, did you do the decorating or the eating? Just asking. Anybody else, Mr. Longwood?
Not so far that.
Well, throw something into me.
Well, one of my fondest memories, and this is when I was an adult, my mother was a counselor at the Betty Griffin House. And they needed a Santa Claus one year. So she talked me into it, and I dressed up as Santa because they had a lot of kids in the shelter at that time. And they're very, as you know, very protective of males coming into there.
Yes.
So it was such a good feeling to sit there as Santa, and as you know about Santa, and all of the kids that just made their whole Christmas just to have Santa there passing out gifts to them and stuff. And I'll always treasure that one.
That's a good one. So now you know why and for those of you that don't know, I do Santa. also, but I do not do Santa in this face. I have a huge beard, hair, a coat with a hood, because I do not want Pirate Mayhem and Kris Kringle to be mistaken by any of the crew. I mean, any of the children that come to see me. But I will tell you a funny story. Looking forward to new Christmas traditions with the Swashbucklers. Very good. Merry Christmas to you, Adam. So here's a funny story. And I'm pretty sure we don't have any children watching, so we can talk about my role as Santa. So this past Saturday night, I was Santa and Kara was Mrs. Claus, and this was our 6th year doing the St. Augustine Beach tree lighting ceremony. 6 years they've asked us to do it. We must be doing a good job. The year before COVID, there was a little boy that was sitting with me and telling me all he wanted, and he was about 5 or 6 years old. And he was finished telling, and he walked away, and he got about 5 or 6 steps away, and he came running back over and jumped up into my lap, and he whispered in my ear, "You sound just like Captain Mayhem." Well, it was all I could do to not say anything other than, "Ho, ho, 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 ho. Very good, young man. Well, I do know Captain Mayhem. We're related. He's my cousin. He's the black sheep of the family." And that's how I ended that little story with him. I'll tell you the saddest one, unless we've got anybody else. Hellfire, you want to tell us one of yours?
Well, to be honest, I don't know what my favorite memory is. Like, I can't really remember my childhood, but one gift I get every year that I absolutely love and I never take for granted is the fact that every year I still get to wake up and celebrate with my parents. And I really love that.
That's very cool. Very nice. Losing your parents does put a damper on Christmas at times, I'm sure. So I'll tell you a sad one for me now. And I'll tell this on purpose because if I can make you cry, that's a good one. So this happened in Jacksonville about 5 years ago. And a little boy about 7 years old. And I asked him what could Santa bring him for Christmas. And he said all he wanted was that his sister and his family all were happy, and that he would be happy if I could bring him his best friend back again. And inside me, I'm thinking, oh no, what is this going to go to? And so I asked him, who is your best friend? His best friend in all the world was his grandmother. And she had passed on about Thanksgiving. And she was gone. And all he wanted was his grandmother back. And the little boy's mom was standing off to the side, and she was standing close enough she could hear, and she was already crying. And Santa was shedding a tear. And it's still to this day, when I tell the story, it does make me tear up. And all I could think to say was, your grandmother is always with you. She will always see you. She will always know how good a little boy you are, and she will know what kind of a great man you will grow up to be. Always keep her memories in your heart, and she will never, ever leave you. Of course, Santa's crying now, and Mom's crying. And when the little boy was okay with that, he gave me a big hug and said, "I love you, Santa." And then they left. I still had over 100 children to see, but I had to take a break. I had to tell the people that were running the event, I need 5 minutes. And I had to stand up and go around behind the scene where I could just stand there for a minute and breathe. It is the hardest request that I've ever gotten as Santa. And it's frustrating that it's a request that I could never, ever make come true. For all the things we like to think of ourselves as Santa or as pirates and all the good we can do, we have to remember that there's some things we can't do. And that was one of those eye-opening experiences. It's a good one. Was that a sniffle there, Hellfire?
Yes, indeed, Captain, it was. That was a very heart-touching story.
I remember it still and will always remember it, and it will be one of my favorite memories as Santa. Aside from the one about the little boy that thinks I sound just like Captain. Anybody else got a good memory? Let's pop it back up to a fun time and not a teary time. Don't leave me sitting here, Mr. Longwood. What do we got?
Nobody else has posted a memory yet.
Oh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do want everybody to be involved with what we're doing. And Old City Pirate Fest is the last weekend of January. It will be 2 nights instead of 2.5 days. It's the last weekend, so the Friday night, the last Friday night in January, will be family night. We will be playing Muppet Treasure Island for all the kids to come enjoy. We have plans for food, entertainment, raffles for the kids, best pirate outfit. And then on Saturday night, we have plans for music and festivities for the evening. And we have already semi-booked the band that we're going to play. Unfortunately, it won't be Tom Mason and the Blue Buccaneers. And my heart goes out to Tom. He wants so bad to come here, but recently Tom has had to be dealing with health issues, and his health won't allow him to come out right now. He's going through tests and chemo, but he does want to come to St. Augustine. So I've already made plans that he will be, if God willing and the creeks don't rise, he will be my entertainment, one of my entertainers for our big rum festival that we're planning down the road. We've already brought in, for the rum festival, we have already brought in the Colonial Quarter, the Pirate Museum, City Gates Distilleries, St. Augustine Distilleries, and I shouldn't say any more, but we do have another big name of rum in the world. If you like country western music, and that's all I'll say. And we're also hoping to find many other smaller rum distilleries all throughout Florida to make their rum known. We really, truly don't want to use all the big names of rum. Everybody knows Morgan. Everybody knows Bacardi. But let's go with all the finer, smaller distilleries and bring them in. And that's what we're planning for 2022. So you see, we've got a lot going on. Singing at midnight mass. Is that a memory, or are you doing that, Donna? I ask that now. But I have nothing else to tell anybody. It's been a good episode. We knew that it would be slow. We knew that we would. Is there going to be a Hellfire Miss Piggy? Sketchy Guy, you're on. Thank you very much for watching us tonight. I really have some great ideas on how we should collaborate together. And we would, in fact, since I have you, since you're on, are you available not next Monday, but the Monday before Christmas to be our guest on the show? We kind of penciled you in on ideas for the different weeks, and we wonder, are you available any of the 3 Mondays left in this month? We would like to have you be a guest on the show, promote your cartoons, and do whatever you want to do about telling everybody about your cartoon work. Has he answered me now?
Not yet.
All right.
But
oh, candlelight services. I do remember those well. Those are good also. Very good. Well, we'd like to have Sketchy Guy on. We talked about having him on. We need to have him as a guest. He's done so much for us already with our cartoons. And the cartoon coloring pages that he created for us went over big at the Edgewater Pirate Festival. So we plan on doing some more of that. So Sketchy Guy is going to become one of the crew. I think, and this is just me talking, I think Sketchy Guy should become the official ship's scribe. And he documents our work with his artistic work. But that's just me. And I'm the captain, and I am allowed to give honorary positions, and I'm pretty sure the crew will go in my favor. So Sketchy Guy, we'd love to have you be a part of everything else we do. Hellfire, anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to add?
Not that I know of, Captain.
We're even considering doing a very special episode. And where is it? Well, I don't have it close at hand. There are a couple of pirate Christmas books that were out. One of them is The Pirate Night Before Christmas. The other is Santa Christmas. And there's a third one. I have it in my collection. And we're thinking of maybe doing a read that we might just do for the children. We're working on that, and we'll see what happens. So be prepared that Captain Mayhem is going to sit here and try to read. And we'll figure it out from there. But like I say, singing at Disney through high school. Really? You sang at Disney? That's an honor. Very cool. Congratulations on that, Adam. Singing at Disney. Oh, wait a minute. I've heard your voice. You're one of the Small World people. I actually also had, since we're talking memories, and it seems that I have the floor, I'll tell you a memory I have about Disney World. When I was 13 or 14 years old, maybe 12, we visited Disney World, and that's when they had the magic shop on Main Street. And I spent way too much time and way too much of my hard-earned money in the magic shop. But I was so excited. When I got home, I sat down and I wrote a letter to Disney World and told them who I was and that I'd been doing magic and that I wanted to be a part of the Disney World magic shop. And would they hire me? I actually got an answer back. It was a one-page turn down. They did not hire me, but I still to this day have that letter in my collection. Now let's fast forward to the year 2016, maybe. I was asked to come dressed as a pirate to Mickey's Not So Scary Christmas, where I could stand in front of the Pirates of the Caribbean and do magic tricks with the candy to give to all the children that came for Not So Scary Christmas. It took 30-some years, but I finally got to perform at Disney World. And it was a joy for me and an exciting part of my life. Anything else? Mr. Longwood? Mr. Hellfire? What about me riding in the back of a pig holding my pistol, Sketchy Guy? Does that count? LOL. I think he should be riding the powder monkey, but that's me.
Well, we both do like black powder.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we reach the close, the last 10 minutes of our first episode after 4 weeks, I'd like to thank all of those that came out to support us tonight and logged on. We will do a better job about advertising. We will try to get the word out, but we'll need your help. And we must get back up to our subscription rate and our following rate so that we can make this a success. Last week, when Mr. Longwood and Mr. Hellfire and I were speaking and collaborating and planning, we knew that December would be tough because everybody has things going on, including us. So we are going to make the next 3 episodes fairly relaxing a lot of conversation, hopefully a lot of input from the watchers and followers, and let's just have fun, because in January of 2022, we really want to kick it in gear. We really want to have some fun with this podcast, and we really want to make it do what we think it can do, what we feel it can do, what we believe it can do. So, we can't do it without help. Help comes in all shapes and sizes, all forms, and we hope that all of you will be a part of our podcast, the Captain's Quarters Podcast. Oh, you got a magic mirror box from Disney. Was it made of cardboard? I had one of those too. Had a dragon on it. It was wonderful. I can't think of anything else that we need to say other than cheers to everyone. The best of the beginning of a great holiday season. Come out and enjoy our Christmas village on the 14th, the 16th, or the 23rd. There it is there. Thank you, Davey. Good job. Any last comments from anybody in our crew? What are you laughing at, Mr. Longwood? Somebody give you a good comment?
No. I was just. There was no comments.
All right.
Everybody's being shy.
Mr. Hellfire, you have any closing statements for the night?
Not any that I can think of, Captain.
All right. Well, if anybody is interested in Christmas presents for the captain, rum is always a good idea. And or cigars. Right, Mr. Adam? Thank you very much. By the way, I plan on sharing some with you on the 17th. Merry Christmas to all. I look forward to the next couple of weeks just before Christmas, talking about Christmas, sharing Christmas ideas, and getting to know our crew, our followers all over again, so that we have a good, strong 2022. And the word is out now. The challenge is there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time. The holiday spirit should overwhelm you. Create the idea within you that animosity, hatred, bigotry, and racism should all be put away. And we should all enjoy each other's company and make efforts to make the future much better. Because we can't go back and fix the past. But we must be honest with our integrity and our intentions. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you and yours, at the close of our 10th episode, happy holidays. Come see us in St. Augustine, one of the 10 best city of lights by National Geographic. Come visit us, come see us, come enjoy us. And I say, this is a wrap.
Part of the podcast.
Part of the crew.
Always, always. Happy evening, and cheers to all.